go on the podcast, the official podcast?
It might.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow. Live, Zach.
Every moment.
Everything we record.
Okay, let me pull up our.
Sing along, you know the words. Good morning. Get out of bed, you lazy head. Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Wow.
The coffee is burnt, but you still get turned. Good morning. Jesus is God, and his son is Jesus. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
And good morning to you, listeners. This is the God Dots Podcast. Ministry stories and the people we meet along the way. On this week, we get episode 4. We get another special guest, Brandon. Hello, Brandon.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Man, it's finally happening.
It's happening.
It's finally happening. It's happening. I'm so stoked.
It is happening. I'm excited. Wow. I know Charles is excited. Yeah, Charles, do you want to?
Let's do it. Okay, so we always do a couple segments on the show, and we're going to start off with something called a story, a tale, and a lie. Now, we've done this segment before, and we're going to switch it up here probably in the next few episodes just to keep it spicy, keep it nicey. But for right now, we're doing a story, and tale, and a lie. We all have our apple cider vinegar. Hold up your glasses, men. Take a whiff. It smells hideous. Truly foul. Anyway, it really is just an awful smell. I left a glass probably about 3 feet away from me for maybe 2 days after I filmed, and it still would make me mad. Like every 30 minutes or so while I was watching a movie, like my nose would just catch the scent, and I'd look over like kind of angry, like, "What are you?" But
get out of here.
Yeah. And so this is the segment where we play a game. You tell us a story about your life that is completely true, a tale which is half truth, and a half lie. And finally, you tell us something that is completely fabricated. Then me and Matt make guesses at which one's which. If we guess completely right, you take a shot of apple cider vinegar. And if we get it wrong, we both take shots. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, I have one question, Charles. Are we separate in this? So, like, if I get it right,
like we put our brains together, like those weird Siamese twins.
Does it matter? Like, do we both have to get it right for him to?
Yeah, I think we should be able to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like as a collective brain, a brain organ, like a collective brain.
Okay.
Yeah. One.
Anyway.
Okay.
One hemisphere, two hemisphere.
One frontal lobe. Back lobe.
Well, Brandon,
cortex.
The floor is yours.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I got pen and pencil. I'm ready to blast off.
I have my notes here. Okay. Story number 1. So, something that I started to pick up being in Go Ministries is I love to go on walks. So one day I was walking, and this truck pulls up into the church parking lot. And the truck rolls up. He's like, "Excuse me, have you seen?" And then just stops. And I was like, "What?" And then he does one of these things. Okay, he has one of those like cop walkie-talkie things. So he does one of. I don't hear what he's saying, but he's like listening to somebody. And then I look at his door, and it says Animal Hospital. Okay, and I was like, "What is this guy doing?" And so I started getting concerned. I was like, "He's looking for something." Okay, and he was like, "All right, thank you. Sorry to bother you." And then he drives off when he was done. So I'm concerned. It's like he's looking for something. Something's out here. I get concerned. I don't know if he ever found the animal. I don't know what it was. That's the end of the story.
Which campus was this?
The new one.
The new one.
The new one. Yeah. Okay. Next story. Growing up, I loved to do skateboarding and BMXing. There were both different phases in my life. My favorite one was BMX, And the reason why I stopped BMX is because I fell really, really, really hard. And I had a moment like, I don't want to do this again. So I never did it ever again after that fall. Do I regret it? Not really. Okay. Last story. I hope it's okay that they're quick. Okay. Last story. Okay. So whenever you have a baby, apparently it's called the delivery room. There is a specific room that you have the baby in. Okay. When I was born, my mom's room was not ready. So they put her in a waiting room, which had a bed, but it wasn't the delivery room. Okay. I'm assuming they call it the delivery room. It has like those stilt things that holds my mom's legs up. You know what I'm saying? Has all the proper tools to clean the baby. So her room wasn't ready yet. I was born in the waiting room. That's the end of that story.
So that's all three. So just to
three.
reiterate, the first story happened at the new campus where an exterminator came on the campus, rolled his window down, spoke to you, started a sentence, didn't finish it, looked around suspiciously, then left.
Yes.
Okay. Second story.
I think I know. I think
I
I know,
know as well. Okay. So
I think I
second
know.
story is you did BMX and skateboarding in different times in your life. You felt really flipping hard on BMX and you decided to give it up there in that moment, which we also share, by the way, because I gave up my BMX career at Go when I spliced my shin open.
I heard that story.
Yeah. And then the third one was what? The third one was what?
He was,
I was
born
in the
in
waiting
the
room.
Yeah, he was born in the waiting room.
Not in the living room, the waiting room.
Okay, so Charles, let's discuss this. Because I'm pretty sure I know all of this.
He's like, shut up.
The first one. Okay, Charles, listen to me.
Okay, what do
We're
you
one
think?
mind. This is what I think. First one lie, second tail, third real.
I think it's the first one is a lie. I think the second one is totally true. I think the third one is partially true.
So we're not thinking straight. I think the second one.
Okay.
I think the second one is a tail because he told me he was into skateboarding and he wiped out in skateboarding, not BMX. So I think that's the half truth.
I don't think he's going to try to tongue twist us. He's just putting parts of the story that aren't true in. This is why the skateboarding story seems so concise and small. Either it is a very good lie, which I'm going to give him some coods, or that was just a really quick truth. That first one felt sketchy. Just something felt weird about it. The third one felt partially true. The second one just felt totally true to me. I don't know.
I thought the third one was completely true. And
Okay,
the second one was
we need to come up with a decision here.
Okay, just can it, guess. Okay, so
this is my show.
So are we separate then?
Is that what you want to do?
You
want to separate on this bad boy? Because if I get it right, then I don't drink, but both of y'all drink.
That's true.
That seems fair.
Cool
but if I get it right, you both drink.
You both drink. Okay, I'm cool with that, player.
That seems
Okay,
fair.
I'm gonna lock in my answer then.
Okay,
My answer is the first story was a lie. The second one was a tale because I don't believe you wiped out on BMX. I believe it was a skateboard. And the third one is true, and it's the story.
Oh man.
Okay.
So
now that you're saying that, Matt, it seems plausible. I'm feeling swayed. Okay. So I'm gonna go first one's a lie.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Second one is true. The third one is a tail, is a half.
Final answer?
Final answer. Give it to us.
Are you guys ready to reveal it?
Yes, first one.
First story was a lie.
Okay, cool. Yes. Me, one of us is gonna get it right.
Yeah.
The BMX story was a half truth.
Yes.
Matt was correct. I totally forgot I told Matt about that. I wiped out in skateboarding, not BMX. And the third one, me being delivered into a waiting room, that is true.
What? There can't be
my mom
two.
told.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh my glob! So I'm the only one sipping today, huh?
Well, I'm.
Oh no, Matt, get it. We're both sipping and dipping.
I
Good.
don't have to sip.
Oh,
I'm
man.
excited.
I was really hoping.
What were you gonna say?
I've been on a loser
I didn't have to do this.
Well, Matt's been going on a losing streak. He's been sipping every week without fail. Like I beat him like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. So it's strong. Are you ready?
I'm Ready, man.
Raise your glasses to
Raise it up. This is my 5th glass today.
I wish I had a
Okay, you
bucket.
ready? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Oh. Whoa. Not bad.
Whoa.
Not bad.
I'm not doing good.
Why does it burn in the chest?
I don't know. I'm falling apart though.
Oh, what's happening?
I'm over it.
All right. I'm
good. I'm good.
just gonna cut in here to announce that we still have the $50 subscriber challenge. It's still
Did
going
nobody
on.
subscribe?
We have one
Do I get-
subscriber since then.
Do I get $50
I
for
think
doing
they
this?
won it.
I think people really want the $50, and that's why we're stuck at 17 subscribers.
We're giving $50 to one of our first 50 subscribers, Brandon.
Wow, and I'm one of them.
Are you really?
I am.
You might
Hey,
get
so
$50.
You might get $50.
Dude,
It
sweet.
might take a year, but
Dude, it was annihilation.
Whoa,
was-
it is just, dude, it's going down, and my stomach is like, dude.
okay, should I do
Something's
what
happening.
Charles did and give you all a symphony? I'm not doing what Charles did. I'm not drinking this.
Yeah, one time Matt
Jeez,
had to do it, and I was like, Matt, I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna take one for the team on this.
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
I'm so
All right.
gassy.
So now is our next segment. We don't have a costume contest, so I guess
Sorry.
oh, you're quite all right.
Whew.
Um,
Okay, go ahead. Wow.
we don't have a costume contest, so leave a comment down below of any sort of costume.
We need a costume
ideas
contest for next week. Yeah,
for next week. Also,
nothing is
subscribe.
out of bounds. Nothing.
Nothing, except for being nude. I won't
Well,
do
I
that.
mean-
I don't know about Charles.
Looks like
Anyway.
somebody's getting addicted to the tip.
I just need one more shot.
No,
One
that stuff's
more
dropped
shot.
with it.
Dude,
My whole
oh my
stomach
gosh.
is like bubbling.
Yeah. It won't go away, dude. It's getting worse the more
I
I'm
know.
sitting here.
Do you have water?
No, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. You're about to talk for 20 to 40 minutes.
No, I got it. I'm good.
Okay. So the next segment is story time with our very
Story
special
time.
guest, Brandon Windsor. We go back, me and Charles go back with Brandon a few years.
Cheers.
We all were in Go Ministries at the same time together. Charles for his first year, me for first 2 years, first 2 years, because you're in your
Wait,
third
what?
year now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
you're talking
No,
about the
Char-
years that we like our years lined up.
yeah.
Okay.
So we
yeah.
were all there for his first year. and
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
there
Got it.
for
Yep.
2. Anyway, so you have 20 to 40 minutes on the clock. Give us your
On the clock.
ministry experience, the nitty gritty, the boring, the untold parts, the awesome parts, everything. Just tell us your ministry story. That's what this is
Man.
about. God Dots
Okay.
ministry stories.
Yeah.
If I can encourage you to, like, I didn't pull any punches on mine. We specifically will leave names out because you don't want to disparage people's character. But at the same time, I like there can be a tendency when you're in ministry currently to speak well of everything because it's like going to always go back to the big dog. And, you know, I'm not saying don't have decorum. I'm not saying don't be smart and wise and don't be respectful. I'm like, dude, just nail him, bro. Rip him a brand new one, dude. No, nothing like that. But I am
Yeah.
saying, no, I prefer, and maybe this is different for you, but I prefer to live my life just like undeniably candid and just be like just failing in front of everybody. And so yeah,
Absolutely.
be as candid as you want. You don't have to pull
Yeah.
punches, but you also don't have to, like, you know what I mean? Just feel free
Absolutely.
to speak freely
Yeah.
if you want.
For sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, just to start it off, I've been saved for 3 years now. So yeah, just to put that out there, I'm just going to start from the very beginning. Born at a very
Got
young
it.
age, September 26, 2000. Okay. I recently turned 21 last week.
Happy birthday.
And thank you so much. It's been a wild ride this past week, being 21.
Been drinking or something? Or?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
So I'm just going to start from the very beginning. Growing up was interesting. So in 2004, my parents got divorced. And then 2005, the divorce was finalized. My mom was seeing my stepdad and my dad was already seeing my stepmom. And so growing up, I didn't really understand the who's my dad concept, because it was either your stepdad's your real dad or your real dad's your real dad. So growing up, I was like, I don't know how to label them, so it was kind of confusing as a kid. And growing up, my childhood was fairly normal. I was outside all the time. I had a bunch of friends in the neighborhood. We grew up at my grandma's house mainly. And then when my parents got a divorce in 2004, me, my mom, and my brother, we moved back to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I'm from. And my dad stayed in Pennsylvania for his job, when he later moved to New York. And he's still up there doing the same job. He's doing phenomenal. And then I feel comfortable sharing this, and I hope it's okay that I share this. At the age of 9 years old, I discovered pornography. And so from the age of 9 years old to 20, I was just kind of stuck in this pornography addiction. Mm-hmm. And growing up, I was told that it was okay. My mom said it was okay. Everyone does it. And so I was like, okay, it's fine, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's just something everyone does. Growing up, there was always raunchy movies on the TV. There was no really filter that would be on the TV. So I just kind of saw whatever was on. And sometimes it was okay to watch and sometimes it wasn't. And I just thought it was normal as a kid. And then my life started to really become difficult in high school. In 8th grade, I discovered marijuana, which was awesome. Okay. And when I discovered it, I was high all the time. I would smoke with my buddies. And in high school, I was high all the time. I would party all the time. And my home life wasn't the best as well. And so life was difficult. Life was weird. Life was confusing. Life was very dark. I was very depressed. I tried to commit suicide twice because I was just so confused, so lost. The last time I smoked marijuana was, I actually take that back. I smoked a little bit when I was saved. So the last time, I guess my eyes opened, was on 4/20, my junior year. And I remember we were sitting in the mesa, and basically what the mesa is in Albuquerque is just the desert. You're in the middle of nowhere. You see the city. You're just hanging out with the boys. And we're all high. They're having a good time. But I was sitting by myself, and I was like, why is life like this? Why does life suck, man? Mm-hmm. I'm super depressed. I don't know why life should, I don't get it. It's just so confusing. And then so I talked to my cousin about it, and he sent me this packet of notes. I actually have the notes on my phone still. It's called Meditation Condensed. It's not really Christian, but it's more of like a spirituality type thing. Yeah. And it talks about God a lot. And so I was like, oh, God. And it said some really cool things about how we're not supposed to be living our life depressed. Like there's more to life than that. And I was like, that's so cool, And literally the next day, on April 21st, my junior year, I met a girl, and her name is Anastasia. And I wanted to give her a shout out because she's a god in my life. She saved my life, man.
Wow, that's cool.
She was super sweet. She was super cool, super different, man. And I remember we were talking on Snapchat. She said, yeah, go to this youth group. You should totally come. And I was like, church, God, maybe there's something there, And so I went, and dude, I felt weird. I felt super sinful. I felt super dirty. I didn't feel welcome, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I just felt weird. I felt so uncomfortable because everyone's raising their hands in worship. I'm like, what the heck what are they doing? And so I mainly was attending the youth group for Anastasia because she was different. I just wanted to be around her all the time. And then a couple of weeks go by, and we, after service, after youth group, I went outside and I was pretty upset. And I was like, God, if you're real, I'm going to have to see something, man, because nothing's changing in my life. I haven't really felt your presence. I haven't heard anything from you. Like, I don't even know if you're real, man. I don't know if this is legit. And right when I said that, man, no joke, my youth pastor walks outside. And so I'm in the parking lot. Our church is kind of like down at the bottom. You have to like go down some stairs. So I go down there to meet him, and I share my whole testimony about what's been going on at home, what my life has looked like. And he prayed for me. And that was the first time I was like, whoa, that's actually pretty cool. Like, I don't know what that was, but that was really sweet. And then me and Anastasia left. And that night she was like, I didn't tell Pastor Kanoa that you were outside. He just kind of wandered out there. And I was like, whoa. I asked God for a sign, and he just happened to wander out there. Like, that's really cool. And so I was still hanging out with my friends. I wasn't really wanting to smoke weed, but I would still kind of do it, you know, mainly because of peer pressure, because I wanted to change. And then the very first time I ever felt Jesus, they did a conference, a youth conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico called Storm Conference. And the very first time I ever experienced something like that, man, it was really cool. And the message was entitled, My Story Isn't Done. And he preached on Jeremiah 29:11. And basically they handed out little papers, notebook papers with coffee stains on them. And the sermon was about your life is a notebook. Every time something happens, every time life goes by, you're taking notes, you're writing down your story. And whenever you sin, whenever you mess up, you just get a coffee stain on the page. But because of God's grace, because of God's mercy, you can flip the page and start over. And that wrecked me, man.
Wow.
I was weeping. My first encounter of Jesus is actually on YouTube. Dude, I was weeping, bro. I've never felt love like that before. And I was like, oh my gosh, like my life is going to change, man. Like there's hope, you know?
Wow.
And so I would still attend church. And of course I was a baby Christian. So I was just thrown into ministry, man. I would attend youth group. And then we went to C4C 2018. If you guys don't know what that is, that's Champions for Christ for those who listening, with Chip Rim. And I didn't pray in tongues yet. I was still fairly new to the church. The youth group didn't really know me. Like Pastor Kanoa and Pastor Nicole, my youth pastors, they invited me because I was like the only high schooler that was kind of left out. They didn't want me to feel left out. And at the time I was going to summer school because I failed like 6 classes in high school, 6 to 7 classes, and I was trying to catch up. And I was like, Mom, can I go to C4C? And my mom and my stepdad said, if you graduate summer school, you can go. And I passed all my classes, so I was able to go to C4C.
Yeah, for sure.
That was one of the weirdest experiences of my life, man. I'm fairly new to this whole Christian thing. People are praying in tongues. My church did it, but I didn't understand it. And then the Thursday night service happens, and Steve Munns is preaching. People are laughing in the spirit. People are falling out. People are praying in tongues. I am so freaked out. I was like, what is happening, man? And then my buddy Andres was like, dude, do you want to pray in tongues? And I was like, I guess so. He's like, oh yeah, dude, so this is what you do. Just lift up your hands and just start doing it, man. And I was like, okay. So I just kind of started doing it to myself. And I was like, I don't know if this is working. And then, dude, it hit. And I started praying in tongues. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening, man? And it was the very first time I ever experienced that. And then we got back from C4C on a Saturday. That Sunday, I got baptized. And then right after that, CC, who is Pastor Kanoa's. Okay.
Pause. We got to restart it because the Zoom is about to be done for the session. I'm going to end it.
Okay.
I'll call you right back.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yano. 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 Hey, this is the Matrix.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad.
This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, I was at CC. Okay, so, and then after C4C, CC asked me to join the worship team because she's like, I just have a vision to start worship for the youth group. Because I, if I remember correctly, before we started doing worship, it was just CC singing to tracks. I don't remember seeing a band. So it was me on bass, CC on vocals, and Anastasia on vocals. And then periodically, her sister Megan would do drums. So early on, bro, I just jumped into ministry right after I got saved. I would do worship. I didn't have a concept of what worship was. So I was up there playing music. I love playing music, man. So I was just playing the bass, you know, and having a really good time. And what's funny is, like cause like I was just, the only way I can explain it is I was just really inappropriate all the time. And I was super rowdy. And then Pastor Cano was like, hey, we're not going to do that right now, you know? And I'd be like, dude, like, I didn't know what correction was, you know? I was like, dude, come on, bro. You know what I mean? So I get super offended, like super quick when Pastor Cano was like, let's tone it down, you know? And man, and then in January of my senior year, I became a youth leader in my youth group. So that was really cool. But like, I just didn't really have a full concept of what ministry was. You know, I was still a baby Christian, helping out the church. I loved it. You know, it was awesome. And then my senior year, I met a girl. Okay. And I'm just going to say that relationship just wasn't Christian. And if I'm being honest, I knew what I was doing wasn't what I was supposed to be doing, but I didn't know how to not do it. You know, I just didn't really understand it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then we go to C4C. Well, backtrack. I graduate 2019. And then a couple of weeks later, we go to C4C 2019. And this was the very first time in my Christian life I vividly, I heard like, not audible voice, but I felt in my heart the Holy Spirit speak to me, was when Pastor Steve was promoting Go Ministries. I felt in my heart, that's what I want you to do. Because when I graduated, going to school was very like, that's what you have to do. You got to go to college. You got to get a good job. And it's like, I don't know if I want to do that, you know? And so once I felt that, I went home. I told my girlfriend, I told my parents, and in 3 weeks later, I moved to Shreveport, Louisiana. And man, me and Pastor Steve talk about this a lot too, but that was such a culture change for me. Like my first year was just it was different, man. I was never surrounded by Christian people. I was never surrounded by a Christian environment. So some of the rules were like, just kind of, I was like, oh, that's really interesting, you know? Like, I don't, like, that's interesting. And then like, I started to learn the heart. And then what I love about Go is they say the heart and they share the word about it. You know, like this is what the Bible says. And this is why we do what we do. And I'm like, dude, I'm all for it, man. And so I remember, I was actually thinking about this. I remember I was reading the Bible one night, okay? And I was reading the story when Jesus was talking about build your house on a firm foundation. And for the man who builds it on sand, it's going to crumble. And then who builds on a firm foundation, like it'll stand. And I remember I went to you, Charles. Like, Charles, all I have to do is I just have to build a house on a rock and I'm set. And then you're like, this is what he means. And you broke it down. And it's like, this is what Jesus actually meant. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I didn't know that, you know, I'm reading the Bible. It's like, dude, I just have to build a house, but it was way deeper than that. And it was so cool to realize, like, I still didn't really know a lot about the word at that time. And I was the first year at Go Ministries. I was doing ministry, but I was still a baby Christian. And so, yeah, now today I'm still in Go Ministries. I'm a third year. And my ministry experience has been really, 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 really cool. This year, my third year, has really been a year of like, why am I serving? You know, because there was a time last year where I took a break from playing the bass, and I didn't know how to worship because I wasn't playing the bass. And the Lord is like, I wonder what that is. And I was like, seems like idolatry. He's like, that's idolatry. You know, you can't worship without the bass. Like, that's a problem. You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like, so. Yeah, this experience in my life, like, it's really interesting because there's some family that still says that this is a phase. Because growing up, I would, like, if I dove into something, I dove in deep, bro. Like, I went through like a football phase. I went through a skateboarding phase. Like, this is what I want to do. And then I went through a music phase where like all I want to do is play music. I still want to play music, but all I did was play, bro. And then family's like, yeah, like this is just another phase. You're just going to be saved for a little bit and then you're just going to lose it, you know?
Wow.
And I'm just like, I've gotten to the point like, I don't want to lose it. Like, this is real, man. Like what I'm doing with my life is real. And at graduation from my second year into my third year, the only thing that I got out of graduation, out of all the speakers, Pastor Steve said this, and he said, the fact that you're living a life for Jesus Christ is the best thing that you can do and is the coolest thing that you can do, because not a lot of people your age are doing this. And I was like, that is really cool. Like, that is awesome. And I've had so many moments in my life where it's like, dude, I am so young. Like, I'm only 21, you know? And it's crazy to think about. 4 years ago, I wasn't saved. And that's just so bizarre to think about. Like 4 years ago, I was smoking weed. I was going to parties. And I was so lost. And now, like, the Lord has brought me into this amazing journey, you know? And it's been so cool, such an honor, such a blessing. And I just have to thank you guys for being in my life, because you guys are God dots in my life, you know? Because I remember when I first got to go, if I'm being honest, I felt like going to Go Ministries was a really big mistake because a lot of my family wasn't for it. And before I left, I heard like, man, this is a really big mistake. Like, this is a stupid decision. And I was like, man, like, what am I doing with my life? And I walk in, and then my first day orientation, Matt is running with my name on the sign, just so welcoming. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is awesome. And then Charles, you poured into me, man. I remember the first couple of days, like, you just hung out with me all the time. Like, we would go to the gas station together. You would let me write music with you. And so, yeah, man, Go Ministries has really saved my life. There's so many people in my life that I'm just so blessed to have in my life, you know. Even Pastor Yano, you know, he was here before we started recording, but man, that he's really poured into my life, especially this year, you know. So it's been a blessing, man. So that's my story, man.
Yeah, I get that. When I came, I'm only 6 years out of drugs, 5 or 6 years out of drugs.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine going back to drugs. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But no, there was Matt Salette for me. I remember when I came in and just coming out of the world, and he's spending 24/7 with me. And I can't remember when the moment was, but I like looked at him and I was like, Matt, thank you. And like, I realized like this guy has taken like a massive part in me not dying early, or me not like going off the deep end, or whatever it was. So no, I feel you there. It's crazy to look back on it, to be like, I don't know how much you did drugs. But I wasn't a young drug user. I didn't start until probably like 17 or 18, but still, you know, when it's your whole life, like, even thinking about being sober now and then finding the Lord and then looking back and thinking about going back to drugs, it's like a totally different world, like a totally different life.
Yeah. And the man who, and of course I give God all the glory, but the man who truly saved my life is Pastor Kanoa. Pastor Kanoa has a special place in my heart, man, because he met with me every Tuesday my senior year. We would read books together, and he would just pour into my life. And dude, like, I've never had anyone like that in my life. And my family was starting to get jealous because I was with Pastor Kanoa a lot. I went to their house a lot because I felt comfortable. You know, I felt loved. And it was different. It was new. It was something I wasn't around. And he poured into my life. He helped me so much, man. My very first car was a 1990 Ford Bronco, and it died every week. Right? My youth pastor, yeah.
Okay.
So my Ford Bronco would died every week, and he was always there to help me jump the truck. Me and him changed the alternator together, which, funny story is, it actually wasn't done correctly, so it ended up dying again. So we had to take it to the shop, and they had to do it correctly. But man, I'm just so blessed for Pastor Kanoa, his wife, Pastor Nicole, and Cece and Megan, man. Like, that family saved my life, man. Like,
Wow.
So thankful for them, man.
That's the God dot.
That's the God dot, man.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
They are cool people.
They are.
I do not have a past story with drugs. Praise the Lord. But
yet. There's hope.
There's still time. Your story
420.
isn't done, Matt.
Blazing.
Uh,
Blazing.
You're not gonna do drugs.
I'm not. No, I'm not going to. But I do remember when you came. Well, I remember at C for C meeting you and hanging out with you at that one place. And then I remember
I met you and Charles there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Me and Brandon were randomly in line together and at a venture park.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, I can't remember who started it, but I was like, yeah, I've got my music on iTunes. And you were like, me too. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, can I show you my song? And I showed you Moonlight. And then you showed me like Kurt Cobain or one of those songs. And I was like, I was blown away. I was like, dude, this is radio ready, like hot stuff. Because it was genuinely really good. So I remember that initial moment. And then who was right next to you? What's her name? Megan?
Megan, yeah.
Yeah, Megan with the camera, because I did camera too. And I was like, man, you got the stick set up. So it was like you two were like, you were like my whole person meshed into one.
Yeah, man. I remember that day. Dude, it was so, when I walked into the dorm rooms at Go Ministries, I was like in awe because all the dudes on stage at C for C were in the dorm room. I was like, dude, there's a drummer, Matt Decker. There's Zach Yano. There's Justin Parson. You know, like I just talked to Taylor Evans in the kitchen, bro. Like she was on doing drama. I was in awe, man.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and then Pastor Josh, okay, I want to add this. Okay. I think it was the first night, they did a night service. And I was so distraught with my thoughts. I was like, man, I'm just making a really big mistake. This is a really stupid decision.
Oh, wow.
And then Pastor Josh was praying over everybody, praying over the interns. And it's really cool. I tell this to him. And I was the only one. He would pray into the microphone. I was the only one. He put the mic down. And he looked at me. He was like, I want you to know that the Lord said that everything's going to be okay. And he sees where you're at. And everything's going to be fine. And I was like, whoa. Like that. I was like, okay, I'm here, man. Like, I'm here. And another God that really helped me throughout my first year was Alan Dosher. I'm going to be honest, when I saw New Life Tabernacle, I was not.
You didn't feel like the new life had hit? Like, where's the adjectives? Like, I'm feeling like we just got a tabernacle here.
Dude, so we were driving down the road and I saw Life United. And I was like, is that it? That big white building? I was like, oh my gosh, bro. And the GPS was like, no, keep going. I was like, okay.
I think we've all
and then
had
we
that
pull
moment.
we pull in the New Life Tabernacle and it, dude, oh my gosh. And then Alan comes out, man, and he's so loving. He's just Alan, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I feel like this was the Lord, but he was like, if this place can make a guy like that, you're going to be okay. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
You know, it was cool, man. Like, I love Alan, man. Oh, he's so cool.
Alan's one of those guys I want to interview as well.
Yeah,
dude, he has.
Throwing that out there.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, I think that's on to, were you about to go? What were you doing?
Well, I was gonna say I also remember you reminded me of when that orientation day when Pastor Josh was flowing, because that was one of the first and rare times that he flows that way. And so I remember him talking to me as well. And so that's cool that you shared that. And then I also remember when you first came for like or filling out the paperwork and stuff, and I had the sign is you guys already got there. And I was like,
we're 2 hours early.
Where was Brant? Like, I remember you were there, and then I was like, oh, there he is. And then, so I remember running at you too.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I was supposed to, welcome you here, but you're already here.
Yeah, because we were 2 hours early, bro. And so Alan let us go look at the dorms, and he like showed me where I'm going to be staying. And so we were walking out of the building, and that's when you ran to me.
Oh, wow. See, that's a side note on Matt's personality. So I don't text exclamation points to anybody because I think that there's a massive lie going on in society right now where everybody's texting exclamation points to act like they're excited, but nobody actually feels this way. So
Absolutely.
I'm vehemently against exclamation points unless it's somebody that I'm doing work for. For some reason, it just helps. It just smooths everything right on out. If you just if somebody texts you like, "Hey Charles, could you do this graphic?" and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am!" exclamation point. She loves me. The happiest job she's ever had. No exclamation point. She's like, this guy's dry as a popcorn fart. So no, one thing, but this is a side note. So Matt, whenever he texts me, I will text exclamation points back to him because I know it's genuine. Wow. Because I know he's actually an exclamation point guy. And everybody else, every time I meet them and they're like, yo, what's up, dude? I'm like, dude, you just texted me 7 exclamation points yesterday. And you just greeted me the most melancholy greeting on earth. Like, I know that is not a representation of who you are.
Yeah.
My favorite text to text in is when I'm asking a question and like, I want to know the answer. I'll put a question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, like over and over.
I do that too.
Again.
Yep.
So I like that you spun that because I thought you were about to talk about how I use exclamation points all the time.
I wasn't. No, I didn't notice that part, but I did notice one thing that really stuck out to me, and this is completely off the record, but one time I told you I had a bad day, and I texted you this, within 10 seconds, my phone was getting a call from you. And I realized in that moment, I was like, I need to learn friendship all over again. Like, I need to know what it looks like. And Matt really has been a God dot in my life to show me like what it looks like to be ready and available and excited to be around friends and people. Yeah. And cool. I'm so pigeonholed and purpose driven. Like when I'm just spending time with friends, a lot of times I get this feeling where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I should be doing something. I should be achieving something. And a lot of times, like, maybe I get to the top, but I'm going to look to my right and my left, and there's going to be nobody with me. And it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to be Justin Bieber, who writes, that song called Alone or whatever it is, Lonely. And he's like, if you want to know what it's like to be me, then, be completely lonely and depressed. So, no, that's just been a cool side note.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Man.
Okay, so what are we on? Candid?
Well, yeah, I see that you added a question.
That was not for Brandon. So I guess we could ask him. So Candid is basically the next segment that we do, Brandon. Is the apple cider vinegar still getting to you?
No, it's still, I still feel it, but I'm good.
Okay. No, it was getting to me just a second ago, but it was. I was like, man, this apple cider vinegar is just the gift that keeps on giving, dude. Like, please let up for a second. Like,
I am so thankful that you told what you told, and I knew what was true and what was false.
I did it just for you, Matt. I did it just for you.
Thank you.
Honestly. Okay. I guess I'm going to ask you a couple. So the next segment is Candid, and it's 3 seriously straight to the point questions. And I guess I'm going to ask these questions as if I didn't know anything about you, Brandon. Okay. So let me think. First one, what was the biggest hindsight you've ever had? The biggest 2020, the biggest, like, 2 months after you're like, dude, should have done that a little bit different. Could have definitely done that a little bit different. If I would have just pivoted 20 centimeters on that, I'd be in a completely different place. Like, is there any of those moments in your life where you're like, dude, that was a bit of a miss, but looking back, I know how I could have changed it.
Am I allowed to get, like, personal?
Sure. You don't have to, but
okay. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable to get personal. Okay. So I'm not, okay. This has been the hardest season of my life, and Charles kind of knows about what's been going on. And so the biggest thing that I've realized, it's like, man, if I would have done this differently, I wouldn't be here right now. And it's just my relationship with girls. And so the Lord has revealed to me the reason why I'm not like this anymore, but the reason why I was the way I was with girls was because of pornography. And basically what I would do is I would talk to a girl, okay? And then I would talk to them for a little bit, and then I would just start talking to another girl while I was with that girl. And is that okay? Absolutely not. But I knew it was wrong, but I didn't stop. It was just something that I just kept doing, And it's happened twice. It happened in between my first and second year, and then it recently happened in between my second and third year. And so this season has really been of like, man, if I just really would have learned it the first time, I wouldn't be in this situation. And what's really cool is Pastor Josh was ministering to me and counseling me through it the first time it happened in between my first and second year. And I was like, yeah, like I learned my lesson. Like I just know what to do now. And he's like, just because you learned it doesn't mean you have the strength from it. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, just because you learned it doesn't mean you have the strength to not do it again. Just because it happened doesn't mean you're not going to do it again, you know? And of course, my pride stepped to say, I'm not going to do it again. Like, I'm fine, you know? And then lo and behold, it happened again. So yeah, this season has just been such a eye-opening experience of like, man, like, I didn't really know how to be intimate with a girl. I didn't know how to be, what's
Like
that word?
what is the real intimacy? Is that what you mean?
Like committed
Okay.
and intimate and just stays.
The world's
Yeah.
definition of intimacy, you know, is like sexual or of
Right.
some sort, you know, or like I
Absolutely.
think, you know, the definition for, you know, intimacy is so entwined with sexual and romantic. I think that the world doesn't really know how to separate like one into an emotional place, into a sexual place. I didn't know exactly what you meant by intimacy.
Yeah. So I mean like, not sexually, like the other part.
Okay.
To be with one person, stay committed with one person, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And so when everything happened, I was like, Lord, I don't know how to be committed to one person. And I want to learn that. And this has been a season where I've learned how to be intimate with the Lord and to build my relationship with the Lord. And yeah, man, it's been a really interesting season, but it's been a beautiful season because I'm learning so much. And me and Pastor Yano are actually talking about this today. There's a song by Switchfoot that recently came out, and it's called Backwards in Time. Okay, and me and Yano were laughing because like that's kind of been like my song during this whole season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and basically it talks about if I can go backwards in time, what I did if I already knew what was going to happen. You know, and of course I'm like, no, like I wouldn't do it. You know, and what's cool is the Lord is like, you can't go back. In this situation, and in any time in your life, whenever you make a mistake, it's either going to make you or it's going to break you.
Yeah.
And you can either sit there and just like, man, like I messed up. I'm a loser. I suck. Why did I do it? Or it's like, you know what? I messed up. The Lord's forgiven me, and I'm going to do better next time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's been the biggest thing in my life that I have to say is like that.
Wow.
Eye-opening. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that reminds me because even after my first year, after my internship, so there's a recovery program, I went right back to heroin. After my first year, I went back to opiates. I didn't go to heroin again, but opiates. And then my second year, I went to Kratom. And even while I was at Go, at times I was buying Kratom at gas stations, and I was lit during class or something. I'm like sitting on my computer, just like jonesing, and people are like, "You gonna be able to finish that thing?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," like feeling like $1 million. So no, one thing I guess, I just say this to say is you learn as you go. One thing I think that's a misnomer when you join ministry is that the expectation that you're already arrived or at perfect moral and righteous perfection is already achieved for you to start ministry. But Go Ministries is the very opposite of that. So they take kids to put them in a responsible place. So it's absolutely, like two total opposite sides of the coin. It's like, we want you to be untrained, young, brand new, but we want you to be responsible. So there's a massive learning process while massive failing process going through the thing. I'm at my third year. I'm almost a leader, and I'm doing Kratom and looking at pornography in my bed. They're asking me if I'm going to go to prayer, and I'm like, look at my phone again. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to skip. And it's just like, it's sad, but at the same time, like you learn when you learn, and you were talking about going back, and I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to redo it because the man that I am now had to fail. Like, dude, I had to suck to get where I am and to fail over and over and over and over. And I had to break hearts. I broke women's hearts when I was younger. I mean, sobbing, tear, people like prescription meds after, like mental issues. Like, I'm not talking about beating them, but it was just a very hard road having a drug addict boyfriend. So, I looking back, you were saying, if I could go back to, I can't, but I can turn a new page. And I think for me, it's the same way. I wouldn't want to go back.
Yeah, that's so cool, man.
What is cradium or whatever you said?
That is a complete side note. And honestly, I don't want to really get into it because I don't want to give people ideas. But
that's okay. Never mind.
No. I'm not gonna say like what it is, but it was like the thing that I was already addicted to back in the world. So I found something. It wasn't illegal per se, but it definitely would have. Man, come on, like, dude, like it's like being like, I'm not smoking weed, but I'm smoking cigarettes. But here, let me put my cigarette out and pray for you. It's like, here's the thing: we're all where we're at, but if you know that this isn't something you should have in your life, dude, just let it go. So, okay, last thing. Do you want to do the last one, Matt?
We can. I was just gonna tag back onto that I also wouldn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Because looking, I don't have a drug problem per se, or I didn't have
yet.
There's
time, Matt. I'm joking.
This is terrible. Speak those things so they are as whatever. We're not speaking those out.
Matt, but you gave yourself a drug problem.
That's where this anyway. But I agree because there's moments where I'm like, man, why did I stay and go for 5 years? I wish I would have left my third year, but yet without those last 2 years, there wouldn't have been the connections that were formed. Like 2 weeks before I left to come here to Alabama, I made like super close connections and God dots with people from SCC. And I was like, Lord, why? Like one of them, one of them I'll name drop is Sean, who plays keys on the praise and worship team. He gave me the desk that I'm using right now, actually.
Oh wow.
And he's the
That's
guy
cool.
that I connected to, and I'm like, man, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Why am I connecting to him now? And without being in Go, that connection wouldn't have ever happened. I would have left and I would have no idea who he is.
Never would have got a desk.
No.
Well, I don't know where I'd be. I'll probably be in Iowa.
Deskless.
This podcast might not exist. Anyway,
Sure.
We have 9 minutes. The last segment is a warning and a wisdom / closing out. So Brandon, and the next 5, or if you got like 5 minutes, what is a warning and a wisdom? Or it can be just the same thing, or
sometimes they've been an amalgam or a mix of both.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be what you're talking about. But what is a closing, warning, and a wisdom?
Man, I'm so happy you asked this question. Okay, I was really hoping I was going to be able to share this. This might sound really weird, but I'm going to explain what I mean. Okay, You are not a human doer; you're a human being. Which means what you do doesn't matter, it's who you are. And in this season of my life, I've learned that your mistakes do not define you. And something that I've learned is, like whenever it first happened, it was just all in my mind. It's like, this is who I am. I really messed up. I couldn't really think, but like the Lord is like, no, like you are a child of God, regardless of what you've done. I love you and I've forgiven you. And it just gives you the grace of everyone's a human being, which means you are going to mess up, man, and no one's perfect. And so just to remember that you are going to mess up and not to beat yourself up, but also to remember that the people around you are going to mess up and to show God's grace to them. And to, and of course, it's really hard to forgive when they intentionally hurt you, but be quick to forgive. Be quick to give them grace and mercy. I have to tell you something, man. Pastor Josh has given me so much grace. Like, it's insane, bro. He's loved on me. He throughout this whole situation, he's loved on me, and he's like, hey, this happened, but I love you, and I'm for you, and I can't wait to see what God does in your life, man. And so just realizing that I'm a human being, I'm not perfect, and I'm gonna mess up. It's okay to mess up, man, but it's not okay to stay in that rut of I messed up and I suck. You know, it's better to grow, and it's better to become the man of God that God has called you to be. And like what you said, Charles, it's really cool. Like, you messed up, and because of it, you became the guy that you are today. And if it wasn't for that mistake, and if it wasn't for that lesson, then you could still be doing that. You know, you could still be doing that thing. So yeah, that's what I would have to say is you're not a human doer, you're a human being. And yeah.
Wow.
That's really good.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to tell you guys I love you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
I've been really, really looking forward to this. So I'm just
really?
happy to be here, man. Yes, I was so bummed I was so bummed that Matt had his surgery, because like, dude, we're supposed to film, but because of all that, we couldn't film. So
I would tell you that the night that we were supposed to film out, that was terrible. I did not get a lot of sleep.
You know what would be cool is if we did a Brandon Windsor takeover episode where like cool. I don't show up and Matt and Brandon like rock it out, and you do like a takeover episode.
Are you wanting to pass the baton already?
No,
we're only 4 episodes in.
But no,
six.
No, I thought it'd be cool because Brandon's got a real heart for this kind of format.
Yeah, I used to have a podcast.
Yeah, no, I know you're gonna do coffee pot talks too.
Yeah,
meep.
Yeah.
So no, I thought it'd be cool. Maybe you can't do a full episode right now because of time constraints, but you could come up on one and just be like, "Yo, my name's Charles," and everybody's like, "No, it's not." But
you're not Charles.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Feel like
maybe it could be you two though. I will say so. Last couple weeks it was my teeth. Now it's my car. Be believing that my car gets fixed.
Next, it's your butthole.
Next is that dang drug addiction that you spoke over me.
Yeah.
I can't film. My butthole hurts.
But believing for my car, because I want to go to Northwest Awakening, and if I do, me and Brandon could realistically do a podcast together in the same room.
Yes, that'd be sweet.
Which I'd love to do, but be believing that my car gets fixed and that.
Yes. What does it need? How much does it cost?
I have no idea.
Okay, good to hear.
Okay, so I called the place today to get it fixed, and it's a family-owned business, and they're out because of COVID. So,
what babies?
COVID.
They're out for a week.
Can't take my transmission out because you can't breathe.
It's not my transition.
Give me a break.
Anyway, this has been God Dots Ministry Stories and the people you meet along the way. This has been with our second special guest, a person me and Charles met along the way, Brandon. I'm hoping Brandon shares it with a bunch of people. And
absolutely.
You know what I was? Can I interject on your total?
Yeah, you got 3 minutes.
I'm sorry.
You got 3 minutes.
You know what would be cool? This is a side thing. What if every time we did an episode with someone and we talked about their God dots, we linked their God dots so they knew that they were touching people along the way? So like cool. When we post Brandon's, we link your youth pastor, and then we link up with Pastor Josh and just tag them both so they know, like, hey, I'm reaching people. Like, hey, my life is like an active difference. I thought that would be
cool.
Like cool.
Let's do it, dude. Yeah.
Cool way to full circle it.
All right, so down below in the description, if you're watching this on YouTube, we've got links to Church Alive. We got links to, Brandon if he wants his Instagram.
My webpage.
His webpage.
You have a webpage?
No, I'm just kidding.
We got links to Church Alive. It's a cool church. I was there once and I loved it. And I love Pastor Kanoa, you know.
Ripped.
And
He's yoked.
Yeah.
He's
oh
hot.
man, he's the best friend. He's the best friend of
Yes.
anyway. Like I was saying before, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you, Brandon, for being on the show.
Thank you
Love
guys so much. Oh my gosh.
Please subscribe, share it.
Yes.
We want to get more out here. Put in the comments a costume contest for next week, because we gotta have a costume contest. We don't need a costume contest. This was really good. Seriously, I love you, and I hope to see you again soon.
See you later,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Peace.